Would anybody like some pound cake? I'd like some pound cake. Some cake. Would anybody like some pound cake? I'd like some pound cake. Some cake. Some cake. Would anybody like some pound cake? I'd like some pound cake. Some cake.
Yo.
Would anybody like some pound cake? I'd like some pound cake.
What is up, guys? Welcome. Why is that still going? Why is that still going? Oh my God. Holy mother of God. I forgot to turn it off. What is up? Welcome back to the SuperCoach Experience podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Savage, the coach of the Xavier Turbos. We are on Mad Monday at the moment because I am officially out of all the leagues that I was planning on being in for the grand finals or for the foreseeable future. And I'm out. I have no trades left. The Xavier Turbos have taken a hit this year like no other year in the past. I have never fallen this low. My lowest rank in the last 5 years is 2200th. I'm currently sitting at 4,600, about 300 or 400 under par. So that is how my weekend is going. I had a co-host planned, the Masked Wolf, and he bailed from me very late. To be fair, I didn't have a co-host planned. He hit me up asking if I needed someone, and I was like, yeah, sure, come on. So that's just how the weekend is going. Actually, personally, the weekend's been great. Had a great weekend with my daughter. Lots of kids' birthday parties. It was very wholesome. But the SuperCoach side of things just didn't really kick off. It started with not having Dylan Edwards in my side. I think a lot of people were wondering, do I sell Dylan Edwards to like a Tom Trbojevic just because of Dylan Edwards' draw? Tom Trebojevic's draw is very good. So it's a good trade-off. And a lot of people were rewarded for staying patient and not trying to force something that probably wasn't a sure thing. And from there, like, I feel like I was having an okay week, but then Friday hit. No, nothing really Friday hit me too badly. A lot of people had Connor Watson. Teddy did okay, 84. I've got Teddy, but then it was Saturday when Nico Hines, 145. I had him as vice captain. You think that'd be a good thing, right? Nowhere to loop him. After Cameron McInnes suspected ACL in the same game. My weekend was ruined from there. And then after that, my opponent in the one head-to-head I was alive in, Captain Reece Walsh, decided to forego the free loop from Nico Hines. It means he would have had to let go of Haas, which understandably he did the right thing. But yeah, what a weekend for me. Definitely on Mad Monday at the moment, but I'm definitely here to help a lot of you guys. For a lot of you guys that are still alive in a lot of your head-to-heads or overall, I think this is a very exciting time of year if you are alive, if you do have trades, and it's a really, really fun time to be alive. This is what we strive for. And just because I bowed out early doesn't mean I can't help you guys. We've got some people in the chat. Wooden Spoon SC, loving the wonky ass tune. If you're an OG, you'll know that that's our old intro music, and people absolutely frothed it. They asked for it to come back for ages, and it just got to the point where they stopped asking because we brought it back sometimes, but it was Pat Haddam, a captain Tommy, underwhelmed so badly. Yeah, I didn't finish my story, did I? Captain Tom Trebojevic as well. Manly, they are a shell of themselves, and I think I've really got to have a hard look at my SuperCoach style, because my style of play has worked for so long, but I think there's definitely a shift. Players are getting older and ceilings are becoming more capped in certain players. Nico Hines kind of flipped the script this weekend with himself. I thought he was kind of capped at 120, 130 with Braden Trindle in the side, but he proved that he wasn't. Or was it like a once a season performance for Hines? Who knows? But what I do know is that Manly and Tom Trebojevic, they're not the same as what they were in 2021. They replicated it sometimes in certain games over the last couple of years, but I think relying on these Manly players, absolutely ridiculous. Darryl Weller scored 13.22. We'll take that after being only on 970. Drinky C, same my week. Drinky C would have been a godsend for you to end the week. Congratulations on that one. I think for the people that held on to Drinky, I know a lot of people were planning on selling Drinky because they weren't sure if he was going to be goal kicking. They weren't sure what the injury cloud was, and the Cowboys, to be honest, have underwhelmed. So if you held on to Drinky and even had the guts to put the C on him, then congratulations, because I think going through all this bad form, you're good enough to look past that and realize that the matchups he has had have been very awkward. So looking at this matchup head to head, it's a lot better than some of his past matchups as well. Jaden Formosa scored 1460 and lost all three head to head match by a combined 30 points. Bad way to end the year. That's really unlucky because you really had a crack there. You're really close, and it just makes you think what it could have been. Like, what decision could you have made to make it better? I'm sure you've already looked at your bench and thought, oh yeah, I could have played this player. But yeah, at least for me, I just shit the bed in all aspects of the game. Pat Haddam says Adam Dewey saved my day. What a brilliant purchase he has been at halfback, goal kicking. He is a great thing to have. His average this back into the season has been really, really good playing at that halves role, in that halves role. Wooden Spoon SC, as a Manly fan, sell them all. I have to agree. Like, obviously, Ruben Garrick, we've got another question here from Pat Haddam. Is Garrick Cassell probably looking at Stephen Crichton or Ronaldo Militalo? The Sharks have the bye next week, so probably not Ronaldo. I mean, there's not a lot in center wing. We're looking at Herbie replacements the other week, and there's not a lot. So I think that's going to be a tricky one to navigate. That's going to be very tricky to navigate. We just talked about Dewey. I think he's a decent one. I think the Cowboys actually have a pretty good run to end the year. Yeah, they do have the round 27 bye, but if you're playing head-to-head and you need two matches, then the Cowboys, they are playing, let me have a look. I'm pretty sure that they're playing the Cowboys next week. It is at Leichhardt, and then they're playing the Broncos at home. So probably not ideal, to be honest, but yeah, let's see if we can find some gold during the podcast. Luke Easton, 1367, C. Walsh. I mean, that'd be pretty underwhelming with the captaincy on Walsh, would it? Who didn't you have that scored well? Did you not have a Drinky? Did you not have a Nico Hines, a Lomax? Because I think even my score would have pushed me up to 1,400 had I captained someone that wasn't Tommy. he actually benched Daniel Tupou as well, which was quite underwhelming. But shout out to the audio listeners. If you are here, then thank you. We've got 36 people watching live. We're going to wrap up the week. We're going to do it a bit different at the moment because, going game by game, maybe game by game is probably not a bad way to do it. But what I've got here is we'll go over the top few players, the top high scoring players for the week so far, and then maybe we'll go through game by game. So we'll go through the top 10. Reece Walsh top scored this week, 153, and it was the matchup, Suncorp, Dolphins. Dolphins are obviously a side that we want to target now going forward. So I think Reece Walsh, if you were an owner over the last 3 weeks, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, but definitely worth it. He's kicking goals, and he looks like the general of that side at the moment. So I know they had a good draw home. They played Dolphins. They play the Knights next week at McDonald Jones. Yeah, so Reece Walsh is another handy option next week. Also round 26, but then round 27, they have Melbourne. Every chance Melbourne do rest their players, though. Scott Drinkwater, 146 points, a bounce back after a down couple of weeks. And hopefully we're still waiting on updates for Scott Drinkwater, so he might even push above that 153 that Reece Walsh had. Nicho Hynes was number 3, 145 against the Titans. The Titans season is done and dusted. It was at Shark Park. It was a perfect storm. 2 tries for Hynes. I think this, they're going to bye next week, and then they do have some easier matchups. They got the Knights around 26. Once again, the Knights are absolutely shot. The Knights are at Shark Park, and then they have the Dogs. So, if you're not a Nicho owner, it's probably not worth getting him in. But also depending on, if you're overall and you missed him this week and you're still in the hunt, then yeah, you would want to get him in for that matchup. But it just depends on what your side looks like. Number 4, Matthew Fiane, 127 points. He looked electric on that left edge against the Warriors. The Warriors are absolutely shot in defense, and their side is really struggling. They were lucky to get the win this game, but I think going forward, I'd be happy to play any of my pods against the Warriors. I think they're very short. Zach Lomax, 126, another popular captain option. He looks good moving forward, and just like Para in general, they look a lot better. Yeah, they did lose to the Rabbitohs, but I think the Rabbitohs had a lot to play for. It was probably one of, I wouldn't say it was like a bad game, but or a high quality game, but it was one of the more intense matchups of the weekend. Dylan Edwards, 119 points. It just proves that Dylan Edwards, even though he does have a tough draw, he's actually scored well against these better defensive sides, like 119 against Melbourne. Melbourne have leaked to fullbacks, if you looked into it, but against the Bulldogs in his last matchup, he scored 102, and that was in a game that the score was 8-6. So Dylan Edwards, I think moving forward, they have the Raiders Friday 6 p.m. I'd be more than happy to play Dylan Edwards. I think the way he's scoring his points as well is very nice. I think we'll go into detail when we do wrap up, go into it quickly. Adam Dewey, 115, probably see a few updates here, but available in center wing and 5'8", 592K. His draw, he has Manly, then he has the Cowboys next week, and then the Raiders by him around 27. No, and then the Gold Coast Titans. So, yeah, he's absolutely a buy in 5'8" or center wing if you've got the cash to do it. And you've got the trades, and if he stays a halfback, I think he's a great thing to have. 813 points, Mawani Hiroti, looking like an immortal on that right edge. It looked like the right edge was their dominant attacking side. Ramian makes it look like it's a bloody, it can't throw a shot. But all of a sudden, they score points on that edge. Sione Katoa, 108, and then Tallis Duncan, 105. This Sharks right edge, Ramian's spot could be under pressure, depending on what they want. Is this a shakeup they needed? Like someone like a Roddy on the right edge that just provides a little bit more, doesn't fight for tackles, but more so runs a line. He's there to do his job. Whereas it feels like Ramian gets the ball and just tries to bust a tackle or two. Kind of it kind of sets the defense up the next play, which is very, very awkward. Luke Easton goes, AJ flopped without Latrell. Yes, he did. So we can't storm the field next week because he won't hit his record. Is Garrick Assel bring Fermor down and get Yo or Young? Good feeling Hudson Young will score big. I like Hudson Young. I think the center wings, they're quite hard to pick, but it's also a good time of year to really target these pod center wings. Like someone like Sione Katoa is a great thing moving forward. Pat Haddam, Tommy didn't get a try assist, frustrating. Did updates come through already, did they? I didn't think it was a try assist. I actually thought that like they'd give it, to be honest. Like not at the, like looking back at it, I thought that like he double pumped and put through the hole, although he put him through the hole and then the person that had already run past him, Cooler busted that tackle. So if that person wasn't there, would they have given the try assist? Because it was kind of like Tommy gave him a hospital ball. Like it felt like it was a genuine line break assist, but like, yeah, I don't know. If he doesn't get it, like I'm not really expecting him to get it, but I could see it going either way. That's for sure. Peter Knowles, 1541 with an 11, 17, and 22. Yeah, it's been like that. 11 means you had McInnes. 17 means you had Garrick, like all of us. Don't know who the 22 is. Probably someone I got in my side as well. All right, let's wrap up the week. So starting off with Melbourne played the Penrith Panthers, and we've obviously talked about Edwards, but I want to go into his stats and see how many 42 in just runs itself, 20 points in tackle bus. Yeah, he's not a sell for a higher upside fullback like Tommy or someone of that caliber. I think he's definitely a hold for the rest of the season. We're going to look through the matchups. Seve, 72. He was in my tipping point and I had him above 50, so that's great. Munster, 44 at fullback. Just wasn't the matchup to dominate at that fullback spot. But yeah, Xavier Coates, look, you know, Xavier Coates, could he be one? I mean, they've got the Bulldogs next week and then the Roosters. Probably not. Then they have the Broncos. But I'm loving the way Xavier Coates is going. Like, look at his scores. He has 4 tons this year. He's got a 79 and 84 consecutively. That they just target him. He's their one attacking weapon they go to when when nothing's happening for them. So I don't mind him. There's Wishart as well, but I don't love the draw. Harry Grant, 86. The Warriors played the Dragons. The Warriors won 14-10. I think they were lucky to win this one. Pompey with 100. Jackson 4 looking like he was a great pod to run home with. But he's suspended now for the rest of the regular season, which is pretty disappointing. Tuivasa-Sheck, 72. Aaron Clark, 66. Not many pods I really want to look at here for the Warriors. For the Dragons, pretty sure they got a nice run home, but they were absolutely decimated by injuries. Clemmer, 73, could be an interesting pod. He's been pretty good the last couple of weeks. You have a look at his scores, 77, 53, 68, and 73. You know, if you need a front rower at the price, probably not a bad shout. But yeah, there's not much doing here. Gutherson played a middle role later in the game. Yeah, not much doing there. Any questions we got to go to before we move on? Lehigh. Yeah, Lehigh. Yeah, he was someone I was so excited to have this matchup, and just Pat Haddam, he has Xavier Coates. What are the chances of that? Wooden Spoon managed to get 1330 with McInnes, Johnston, Watson, and Nwangu Nitawase. Yeah, that's a pretty good escape there. Nwangu Nitawase is the one that's been disappointing, hasn't he? They've got the Parramatta Eels next week on Josh Addo-Carr's edge. I mean, Parramatta Eels have been pretty good, so it's not the easy matchup it was earlier in the year. But yeah, I'd probably look at yeah, like I'm not targeting anyone against the Parramatta Eels because I don't think that's an easy matchup like it was back in the day. Luke Easton, Warriors are just stumbling over the line with all their injuries as a Warriors fan, unfortunately. Yeah, I think it's tricky because they have got so many injuries, but I kind of thought they were going to stumble at this time of the year anyway. It's just unfortunate that it's because of injuries like that. They haven't been able to show their full strength because usually, like, they definitely had a plateaued midway through the season, and usually teams have the chance to refocus and have a second wind into the finals, and they haven't had the chance to do that, which is unfortunate. Um, yeah, to be honest, like I hope they don't make the four because I know they're not going to be contenders. So I'd rather a contender make the four. But if they make a grand final off the back of making the four, then that's a good story. I like that. Pat Haddam, you benched Chupo. Yes, I did. I did bench Chupo. Thanks for pointing that out. The Roosters beat the Dogs 32-12. Nafahu White looking like a front row immortal, 105 points with a double, and them letting go of Terrell May has actually kind of worked out for them. They've had all these young players come through, and you look at their forward pack, like they're leaving players out at the moment. Like Spencer Lenu's playing really good. Like Lindsay Collins is just there doing his job. There's Fiketti that's coming off the bench, and they're bringing Watson off the bench, which I hate this time of year. But like, are they working towards a future or something with that? Like, I don't know what they're doing there, but yeah, because Robson's coming next year. But yeah, it's working out really nicely for them. And like, I was the biggest Roosters and Robbo hater at the start of the year, but they're just killing it. Sam Walker, 74, Teddy, 85. They're looking really good. Tupo, hat-trick, 90. Left him on the bench. Yes, thank you, SuperCoach, for letting me know. You can't win them all, can you? Where me and Grant had an extensive conversation about sit versus starts regarding Tupo. And, pretty much the bottom line we both said was, yeah, I don't want to rely on him to score a try. Like this time of year, you don't just want your player to score a try, you want them to score big. And little did we know he's going to score 3. So, yeah, he was a great purchase. It's just, yeah, very frustrating that you don't play him on the right weeks. Stephen Crichton, 52. I think he's a really good option, but their draw's pretty bad. I think like Melbourne have been leaking points. So like maybe Melbourne, Penrith, and then the Sharks round 27. It's a tricky draw, and they've already lost against the Roosters. But like he's still top scored 52. He's kicking goals. If they're going to score points, he's playing that fullback in shape. Like Connor Tracy's going straight to center in that attacking shape now. So I think he's a nice pod, but for the upside that we're looking for at this time of year, it's not what we're after. It's not what we're after. Coro, Stags. Yeah, I like Stags. I really like Stags. He did score very well this week, and we'll get to him. I'll talk about him in a second. So the Sharks beat the Titans 54-22. Nico Hines 114. Haradi 113. Haradi a purchase? Probably not. I think that's more a conversation for next week. Ronaldo Mulitalo, his run over the last few weeks has been phenomenal. So Ronaldo, 91, 98, 59, and 100. Ridiculous. Prior to that, 254s in a row with no tries. I think if you jumped on Ronaldo Mulitalo, Timmy Solden, Nwanga Nitawase to Ronaldo in round 20, round 21, he got 91 that round. The next round, he got 98, 59, and then now 100. He's been a great purchase for this late in the season. And if you are in like the top echelon of super coaches, then what a purchase that been. Blake Brayley, 71, keeps getting it done. Of the hookers, like he's killing it. And Cam McInnes, suspected ACL, so it's not good news. Sam Verrill, 79. Bo Fermor with a try, 65. Tino, 56. He was lucky to get that. He went off pretty early in the game with the Talakai hit, but he came back on later, which was nice. There's not much doing at the Titans. Jaden Campbell, they do have a nice run to end the year. So I think Jaden Campbell and the likes of Beau Fermor are really good. They play the Warriors at home. Jaden Campbell's a massive captain option next week. And then they play the Dolphins a week after. So the Titans have a nice run. And they're starting to find, they were starting to find momentum. And then the Sharks beat them by 50. So hopefully a big bounce back next week. The Broncos beat the Dolphins 38-28. Payne Haas 99. Stags 93. I think Stags can score tries against a lot of these clubs coming up. Like, yeah, they do have the Melbourne Storm. They've got the Knights next week and then the Cowboys. Like, I think he's every chance of scoring very well in the next coming weeks. Ben Hunt, 70, nice little pot option at a cheap price. If you need that at a 5'8", probably not at this time of year, but Payne Haas 99. If you haven't pulled the trigger on him, I think he's a must-have for the rest of the year. There's only 3 rounds to go, but I think like in front row, he can definitely be a difference for you. Reece Walsh, 153. What a weapon. He's now going to be well over 700K. Would I buy him for the rest of the year? Probably not. But yeah, he's a nice owner at the moment. For the Dolphins, they're absolutely shot as well. But Trey Fuller, 79. Jermaine Asako, very disappointing from my side. But their draw opens up a little bit. Like, they got Manly next week at Four Pines Park, sorry. And then they play the Gold Coast Titans in the head-to-head final. So Jermaine Asako is someone I'm excited to have in the head-to-head final, even though I'm not in it. But I think he's someone to look at as a pod for that final. Not much else doing there. And then the Rabbitohs took on the Eels. Honestly, Tallis Duncan, he's just been doing it all season. He's 620K and he's averaging pretty much 60 now. Ever since he's played 80 minutes every week, his lowest score is 44. Oh, he had a 36 there. So his lowest score in 80 minutes is 36 and then a 44. And then after that, he's got like 65, 70, 63, 134, 105, 52, 49, 66, 63, and then another 100 on the weekend. Like, in a South side that has been shot, he has 4 tons this year. As a second rower, that is ridiculous. And I hate that he's going through this late season run because, like, he doesn't become an option for us next year. It's going to be so expensive. Cody Walker, 62 points, negative 17 break even. Wow. Dry Gray looked really good out the back at 87, but Lomax on the other side, 126. Isaiah Yongi, 98 points. Just like seeing him come back just made me realize how good he is. And I think maybe a round 26 play for Isaiah Yongi, like, it could be an option. Like, Isaiah Yongi could be genuinely a fullback you go after around 26. I think that the Parramatta Eels are going to play fuck it footy. They're going to throw the ball around. They're looking really good. And against the Warriors, I think he's every chance of scoring massive over those last 2 weeks. Luke Easton, I went kick out over Duncan 4 weeks ago. One of my biggest regrets of the year. Oh my God. I thought like 4 weeks ago, right? He'd already gone on his run. So you're looking at him thinking, okay, this run of form has ended. It's time to just let it go. But no, he is 100% going to be like a gun of the future. And we knew this, but we thought after the fact that he didn't get kind of picked for a while and it was kind of hard for him to get in the side. I think, it's just, and not playing 80 minutes as well. I think that was massive, but got the 80-minute role, and I think he's probably locked it in for the future as well, which is crazy. Wooden Spoon says, drop a like on the stream, fellas. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind just dropping a like. Obviously, this time of year is very everyone drops off listening at this time of year. So if you are listening, even if if you're out of your SuperCoach leagues and you are listening, like you're one of the real OGs just listening for something to listen to. I do exactly the same this time of year. I'm out of SuperCoach finals, but I'll still listen to all the podcasts because I just know that entertainment is first, and then SuperCoach info. Actually, SuperCoach info is first. But yeah, if you leave a like on the podcast, then it helps massively. Um, it is very quiet at this time of year. So if you leave a like now, you subscribe to the channel, you follow the audio platforms, it helps us out later on. So thank you for saying that, Wooden Spoon. SuperCoach, where's your content gone? Are you still doing it? Tigers played the Seagulls. Dewey 115. Taylor May 97. Wow. He had a really good game. Terrell May 77. Skelton 69. But the story is the Manly Sea Eagles. Cooler 69. He scored there. Did he score 2 tries? He scored 1. Lodge scored their other. Coolers scored 3 of their 4 tries over the last 2 weeks. They've scored 4 tries over the last 2 weeks. Coolers scored 3 of them. He's looking so good. And just like as a Manly fan, it's so disappointing watching this side because they're so disjointed. I'm part of a lot of Manly pages and they're all like going off during the game saying, drop DCE, he's got to go, blah, blah, blah. I thought he had a crack in the second half, whereas no one else really did in the second half. Obviously, Cooler did, but yeah, I'm just not liking what's going on there at the moment. Disjointed. They're so much more talented than what they are. That they are short in injury wise. Like Paseka's gone, Olakwatu's gone, now Garrick's gone. I think that they'll struggle to win another game this year. And like Tommy, he's not injured. What is he doing? He looks a shell of himself. And I'm not sure if it's the DCE situation, which is haunting him, but yeah, it doesn't look good. And yeah, I think the rest of the year's write off. If you have trades and you got Manly players, I just sell them all. I think they're actually someone you want to target against if that's the case. Who are your top center wings for the rest of the year? I'll have a look. Give me a second. Wooden Spoon, yeah, man, not as much as I feel deep dives aren't as useful this time of year. It's 100% not a. Like, I feel like halfway through the year when teams have like 10 trades left, it's hard to deep dive even then, just because it's like, yeah, you can look at a player for the rest of the season, but people already know what they want for the rest of the season, and there's only room for limited spots. Whereas the start of the year, it's kind of easy because everyone's happy to take a flyer on like someone who the stats work in their favor. So take a flyer on them, see if it works out. Whereas late in the year, it's hard to take a flyer on a lot of these guys. Luke Easton, he looks disconnected. He does. He really does. Bradman Best under the radar. Well, let's go to the next game. So Cowboys played the Knights and Bradman Best under the radar scored 38, mate. Dom Young, 75. I'm pretty sure I said to Grant, Dom Young's going to score a try this game. I did say to him that Josh Adokar was going to score 3 against the Rabbitohs as well, though. Yeah, not much happening for the Knights, eh? Gagai 28. What a bad purchase he's been for people who bought a couple of weeks ago. Matt Arthur 15. Best 38. Surely that draw gets better though. Like Broncos Sharks. No, it doesn't. That was their good matchup. They're done. They'll get the spoon. The Knights will get the spoon. And I think they've been so good this season. Yeah, they've been really good this season, so that'll be disappointing for them. Knights or the Titans, I guess. Titans might win a game, who knows? But yeah, it's pretty disappointing because the Knights have defended so well this year, and Hopefully they don't get the spoon because I think they deserve better than that. But Scott Drinkwater, 146, DNN 96, Purdue 72. Not much else there. All right. We'll answer some questions and then we'll wrap it up. Wooden spoon, it gets pretty much set after Origin, then you cross your fingers and hopes it goes well. Yeah, it really does. Like during the Origin period, you're kind of holding off on the Origin stars, and then after Origin, it's kind of like, all right, everyone wants to get in the Origin players. They probably have room to take flyer one person, and it's like if you deep dive 100 players, right? You know, you might get people biting at one or a couple, but like, yeah, who are your top teams to target? All right, let's look through this. So I'll go to NRL SuperCoach stats. And let's go to the draw. Just give me a minute. I'll get this up. All right, so we're going to the draw on NRL SuperCoach stats. We're at round 24, so we've got the Sharks with the Broncos have the bye in round 24. The Broncos do not have the bye. Am I wrong in saying I thought the Sharks had the bye? Let me. Okay, who has the bye next week? As if the Broncos don't have a bye next week. Surely not. Yeah, they don't. Oh, it's round 25 next week. I still feel like I'm on the wrong. This can't be this season. Yep, I was on the wrong season. Oh my god. So round 25, the Sharks have the bye. All right, so from memory, the Cowboys have a good draw. They've got the Tigers, the Broncos. Oh, not that great. Let's have a look at some greens. So we've got Roosters, Melbourne. I don't think their draw is that good. We've got North Queensland, Canberra, Gold Coast for the Tigers. So I think Adam Dewey is a great thing. I think whoever's playing Manly in the last few are going to be really good too. So Warriors, Dragons, Dolphins. Who do the Dolphins have? The Dolphins have Broncos, Manly, Gold Coast, Canterbury. I mean, the Dolphins. So like Jermaine Asako, I think for round 25 and round 26. So over the next 2 weeks, I think Jermaine Asako is huge. Maybe even the Hammer as well. Trey Fuller, potentially. We've got the Broncos, have Newcastle, North Queensland. So, yeah, Tony Staggs. He's the only one I'd look at there. The New Zealand Warriors, I don't think RTS is a guy that you'd want. The Titans. Yeah, the Titans have a good one. They've got New Zealand, the Dolphins, and the Tigers. So, the Titans are very interesting. I definitely look at Jaden Campbell, Philip Sammy. He's a massive one. He just always finds points. I think Jojo Fafita, depending if he gets selected or not, is a huge one as well. The Canberra Raiders also, apart from Penrith, they've got the Tigers and the Dolphins in the last two. You know, someone like Tamale. Like Tamale's due back this week. Get a look at him this week versus Penrith Panthers, or if he plays reserve grade. And then they want to get runs into him in the last two rounds. So, you know, Tamale could be huge against teams that have checked out and gone to Mad Monday already. So, St. George have a pretty good next 3 weeks. They've got this Souths, Manly, and then Penrith in the last round, which is a bit tricky. But like the Fiane brother, who just turned up 127, he could actually be someone that you look at targeting. Like you look at Souths, they're leaking on their right edge because it's Isaiah Tass there, and that edge has been disjointed. Then Manly just leaking points everywhere. Their right center was Ruben Garrick, and now he's gone. So they're going to have another right center in there. outside DCE as well, outside Corey Waddell. So I think, yeah, even like that Fine brother who just scored 127, he doesn't really pass the ball either, which might be a bad thing, to be honest. But like, you know that you're going to get probably more points from him in runs and tackle busts. So yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah, sorry, 2024. William says playing Supercoach NFL. Honestly, probably not. I don't know anything about it. I don't know much about EPL either. I'm doing EPL. Maybe I'll give it a go though. It's something I should get into. Wooden Spoon, do you reckon SC finals could revive the back end of the year for creators? I think the Supercoach final is going to be very fun, but it's not going to be like Supercoach because it is like you get unlimited trades, unlimited salary cap, which is really, really good. But one bad move that, like, you can make a move that makes complete sense and it's not going to work out because finals is just a different beast. So I think people aren't going to be invested in it like that because there's things can go wrong so easily. But it's going to be a fun thing to do. And I think, like, creators wise, it's going to be very similar to like it's going to keep people a little bit interested, but it's not going to like reinvent the wheel or anything, in my opinion. Because we had it a couple of years ago. We tried to do podcasts for it, and it just like people don't care about it, to be honest. Like, it's just a fun thing to have. Whereas your super coach for the rest of the year is like, yeah, it's different. Got a head-to-head league with a few spots up for grabs. 635066. So if you are listening, you are in NFL. 635066. So that'll go up on audio, and people will probably join. Let me know if it gets filled. All right. Well, thanks for jumping on the stream, lads. Wooden Spoon, that's 5 I was getting there for sure. Thanks for jumping on the stream. It's been fun. I'm in Mad Monday already. I'm in Bali. But we'll be back Tuesday for your weekly podcast. The grind never stops. We'll still be going through to finals. Maybe we'll do some finals content. And we'll definitely be doing our season reviews. So shout out to everyone for jumping on and listening. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope your Supercoach side did very well. Catch you next week.